The criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about,
I have a very different take about this clip than the majority of people talking about it online. I don't think Sydney Sweeney's answer was all that. It reminded me of watching a Miss Universe pageant and noticing that the winner's answer to her interview question was totally generic and just dodged the question. But she did do some things right. What I think is even more powerful is how bad the journalist, if you want to call her that, poorly worded her question. To me, it sounded like she was mumbling gibberish. Maybe, I don't know, kind of like broadly, specifically, basically, I don't know, specifically. I know podcasters that interview better than that, who ask questions like that in a professional realm. Compared to her, anyone's answer would have been better. But she wasn't intimidating, and she certainly wasn't professional. What Sydney Sweeney did right was not take the bait. She paused and she thought about it, and she didn't defend herself. She didn't apologize, but she could have still answered the question a little bit better. Perhaps like, yeah, it certainly did bring up an important issue, and I don't mind being a catalyst for that. My main point here is that Sydney Sweeney's answer was okay, but it wasn't all that. I mean, she wasn't a coward, she didn't cave, and she didn't people please. For me, the bigger issue was just how bad the GQ interviewer was. I mean, I don't know what's going on with legacy media these days, but there is some low quality talent out there. I'll give her a little bit of reasonable doubt. If you watch the entire interview, it was very conversational, and she was kind of making all those expressions and being super friendly and smiley. And Sydney Sweeney was like that with her too. So the whole interview wasn't tense like that, but I think she was trying intentionally to disarm Sydney Sweeney to land this question, and she just flubbed it badly. I think she started to really like Sydney Sweeney, and then she didn't want to like drag her. So this was probably just a case of Sydney Sweeney disarming her and being so likable that the interviewer just didn't want to make her the villain anymore. Well, what do you think? Did you pick up on any of that?